Hello and welcome. As organizations race towards generative AI adoption, the cost component for AI within the organization is piling up. To mitigate this, we introduced the AI policies and adaptive model routing for the AI APIs with WSO2 AI Gateway. In this video, a quick demonstration will be shown how you can easily add an AI policy to an AI API and configure the model routing capabilities such as load balancing and model failover routing to effectively manage your model usages. First, let's focus on the part of adding AI policy to the AI gateway. Before moving on, you have to first logging into the admin portal of the AI API manager. In the left-hand menu, select the subscription policies section. Here you can see a couple of pre-configured throttling as well as AI policies. In order to add a new AI policy to the gateway, simply select AI policy in the drop-down. In this form, you can add this basic configuration such as name, description. But most importantly, you can add the request count, total token count, as well as minor parameters like prompt and completion token count for specific unit time. I have already added an AI policy to the AI gateway, which limits the request for 5 times along with the respective other limits as defined in here. Now let's save this AI policy. In order to add this policy to an AI API, you have to go to publisher portal, create an AI API like this. Once you have created the AI API, simply go to the API overview page and select the subscription section in the left hand menu. Then under the available policies will be shown in which we have already selected this AI 5 policy for this AI API. One another aspect we discussed in the starting part of this model routing capabilities of WSO2 AI Gateway is the load balancing configuration. With model routing capabilities, you can simply route traffic to LLM models based on round robin or weighted round robin fashion. To add weighted round robin model routing, select the policies section in the left hand menu and select the designated resource of an AI API. In here, we have selected this chat completion resource. Once chosen, you have to select this model routing policy from the common policies section. I have already configured this policy for this demonstration. Here, the traffic for the LLM models are routed in 1:2 ratio along these models for the production environment. You can add ratios for the sandbox environment as well from here. Once done, you have to save this save this policy and deploy the API revision to the AI gateway with this part. Once done, you can simply go to this deployment tab and check whether the deployment is successful or not. For this API, the changes have already been deployed in the WSO2 AI Gateway. Now to invoke the deployed API, we have to create an application in DevPort. Subscribe to that and use tryout console to invoke that. First, let's navigate to the application section. I have already created an application. Remember to subscribe to the API from here. Once done, you have to generate production keys from here as well. Since I generated it, I will update the keys. Once completed, we have to go to this API section. Select the respective API. Then let's go to the tryout console. First, let's obtain a production key. Now let's go to the chat completion resource and try out the API with this payload. Here, the model selection part is removed as this model routing is done by the already configured weighted round robin policy. So let's invoke the resource. Now, our first response is from the GPT-1 mini model. Now let's invoke the API for the second time. In here, since we have previously invoked the API, we now get the response from the 4.0 mini model. Now let's invoke the API again. Then the GPT 4.1 model is again come back into the API invocation part. As you can see, we have this 2-to-1 ratio which agrees to the policy that we have defined for the model routing. Now let's invoke the API for few more times. Now here our API is throttled out due to the AI policy that we have added previously. So another key feature of the model routing is the model failover policy, which comes handy in cases where your LLM model is getting token limit hit and in other outages as well. To demonstrate this, I have created another API to add failover policy. To add a failover policy, you have to again go to the publisher portal, select the designated API, and go to this policies section. Now let's go to the designated resource, which is the chat completion resource. In the common policies section, we have this failover policy. I have added a pre-configured policy which routes the traffic to the other model in case of the primary is absent. As previously, we can simply deploy the API with save and deploy, which is already done in my environment. Now let's go to the dev portal as similarly and select the API first. Then let's go to the tryout console and get a production key as well. Now let's go to the designated resource, which is the chat completion resource, and click the tryout button. Please note that in here the GPT-5 mini model has a rate limit of 1 request per minute. So let's invoke the API. As you can see, the first response is from this GPT-5.1 mini model. Now from the LLM side, the invocation is blocked. Let's invoke the resource again. Here, the response is from the GPT-4.0 model, which is the one we have defined as the failover model in our failover policy. The WSO2 AI Gateway is your essential control plane for enterprise AI adoption. It allows you to effectively manage escalating costs through granular AI policies based on token limits, not just requests. More critically, it ensures reliability and optimal performance by providing adaptive model routing capabilities, including weighted load balancing to prioritize cost-effective models and automatic failover to guarantee your AI services remain available even when primary LLM model to experience an outage.